All right, we're going to talk about the Assassination Rogue single target opener and kind of break down what we're doing, why we're doing it, and kind of some of the subtleties with the talents we pick and how they interact with the opener. So first thing right out of stealth is we have to press ambush. This is because of our hero talent, Deathstalker. You can only apply it from stealth with an ambush. It kind of makes what we're doing first pretty easy. We have to hit that button to get the debuff on the target. If you aren't already, you should either have a weak aura or be tracking this debuff some way. It's a lot of your damage. Deathstalker is very strong. You need to know when it's triggered so you can do a full combo point in Venom, because it's going to be doing a lot of damage. If you're not tracking Deathstalker, you're probably missing out on a lot of bursts, and you're probably missing out on a lot of damage. So make sure you're tracking that. There's a lot of good weak auras out there for that, but you want it on your radar some way. Next thing we're going to do is get out our bleeds. The only subtlety here is we're running improved Garrote, which means from stealth and for 6 seconds after stealth, our Garrote is going to be doing 50% more damage, and that applies to every tick in that Garrote, which is important. So we hit our Garrote, and then we hit our Rupture to get our bleed out. And this kind of goes into one of the more interesting parts about the Assassination Rogue opener, is there's kind of these two semi-conflicting ideas. For the most part, with every DPS class, you want to hit your major cooldown abilities as quickly as possible so they become off cooldown as quick as possible. Because if you can get 3 death marks off in a fight, you're always going to be doing more damage than the person that only gets 2 death marks off in a fight. Even if that person's doing those death marks in Kingsbane perfectly with no mistakes, if you get that 3rd death mark out, you're going to do more damage. You know, that's the whole point of kind of your major cooldown abilities. They give you a lot of burst and then make your class do its damage. So that's one idea. We want to get our cooldowns out as fast as possible, as quickly as possible. And the thing that makes Assassination Rogue interesting is that Kingsbane, our biggest burst, our biggest damage, ramps. So what does that mean? It means that when we hit Kingsbane, the second we hit it, if we did nothing else, each tick is not going to do a lot of damage. But as we put more damage into the target, our Kingsbane ramps up and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So if we can do a lot of damage front-loaded in Kingsbane, the second half of our Kingsbane is going to be doing big burst damage. So that's kind of the idea behind the opener, is we're doing the bare minimum to set up our buffs, to set up our bleeds, set up everything that's going to help us do damage to improve Kingsbane, but also we still want to hit Deathmark and we still want to hit Kingsbane as quickly as possible. So we're trying to do both of those things at the same time. So that's why we Garrote, that's why we Rupture. We want our bleeds on the target so it increases our damage going into Kingsbane. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to Mutilate into an Envenom. And the reason we Mutilate here is because we want at least 5 combo points before hitting a Venom. And the reason this is important is because of Deathstalker. So Deathstalker, the only way to take away a stack of the Deathstalker debuff is to use 5 more combo points on a finishing move. So that's why we wait. We want that Deathstalker to tick down so we can get it activated sooner. But once we get our Envenom out, we now have the Envenom buff and we have Slice and Dice. Those are both going to play into our Kingsbane. And then the very next thing we're going to do is we're going to Trinket, we're going to Potion, we're going to Deathmark, and then we're going to Shiv, because for the next 8 seconds, Shiv increases the damage of all of our nature damage, of our poisons, and our bleeds. So again, the whole idea here is we want to be doing as much damage into Kingsbane as quickly as possible. So once all those buffs are out, we finally hit Kingsbane, and we're kind of going into this cycle of Envenom spanning. So we're trying to get above 5 combo points or more. And soon, if you're at 5 combo points, you're going to send the Envenom right away, because we want to reduce those Deathstalker debuffs so we can hit the big Venom at max combo points. So I'm going to pause it here because this is kind of the first important timer in Kingsbane, and there's 2 of them. So there's 8 seconds left on Kingsbane. Why is this important? This is important because we want Shiv to cover every single tick that occurs in the last 8 seconds of Kingsbane because it increases our damage by 30%. And that includes the Kingsbane damage. So if you see here, there's kind of an overlap time period where we're about to be 8 seconds left on Kingsbane. So as soon as that happens, anytime after that, you're good to send the second Shiv. But I also have 1 second left on the Shiv I did before I hit Kingsbane. So you kind of have this grace period of 2 globals where you can decide you need to hit Shiv and still not miss any ticks of Kingsbane. So what I should be doing here is I should be shiving, and I mutilate. I'm not sure why. All right, there we go. We get the Shiv out. And now we're about to approach our second big window in Kingsbane, which is 6 seconds. And now why is 6 seconds important? 6 seconds is only important if we're running Master Assassin or Thistletea. So what Master Assassin is, I'll put it up on the screen, is it gives you 20% increased critical strike chance while stealthed and for 6 seconds after breaking stealth. So we hit that because we want that crit chance going into the last 6 seconds of our Kingsbane ticks. That's going to be big for our damage. The other reason we hit that is our Garrote's about to expire. It lines up nicely. We can reapply improved Garrote. We mentioned that in the beginning. Garrote does more damage from stealth. And then the other thing that I should be doing here is I need to send this Envenom. That should be priority number 1. I should Vanish. I should Envenom to trigger the Deathstalker buff. I think I'm going to flub this. So we get the Vanish, we get the Envenom, then we Garrote, and then we get our Mutilates out, and then we reapply Rupture because we see that's about to fall off. And the one thing I forgot to call out, if I back up here, is you also want to hit T when there's 6 seconds left on Kingsbane, because that gives you a 13% mastery buff. At the start of the fight, you're going to be on max stacks of Thistletea, so it's totally okay to just send it. Let's get that on cooldown and let it start rolling, get some value out of it. And then that's pretty much it. The last seconds of Kingsbane, you're going to be doing big damage. You should be top 3 on the DPS charts if you're running Assassination Rogue through your burst windows. You'll fall off as the fight goes on, but that's how you're going to do the burst. That's how you do big numbers Assassination Rogue in your burst. If you can get a PI or an Aug Evoker, God bless you. I sure can't, but hope that helps you guys. Hope that was educational. Let me know if you guys want to see more of this stuff, and I appreciate you watching.